night ends early now. Just depends on how quick you load up. Boom, all the cars. Alright, where do I begin? Sorry, you know how I started doing these car review videos? So, literally 2 days after I started doing the car review videos, they started releasing. So the first one released earlier today, and then Cat changed the mechanics. The devs changed the game mechanics and how the cars drive. So guess what? I have to restart. Here we are with the baseline review. Look, I'm not actually that upset. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this game drives now. It'd be nice if I remember where my controller was. Found it. Found it. I'm not even going to edit this because I've already done a baseline review, and it's slightly annoying to redo it again. And as with every new update, I bet my controls are buggered to hell. First of all, audio, music, unfortunately needs to go down. I love the music to this game. Okay, I really do. It is just a bit loud when I'm recording. My controller's not even plugged in. Why? This is the most unorganized I've ever been for a damn video, but it's a redo, you know. Boom, Y, accelerator, left bumper, and then we're gonna go up, right, down, left, and then hyperpods. Hyperpods don't do anything. I have to press T to interact with hyperpods. What if I change that to H? I'm also going to make it H then. There we go. Just for future reference, H for hyperpod. I won't be using any hyperpods, obviously. Alright, this is still a little rocky. So that's an interesting start, which means, you know, that issue obviously isn't resolved. Wheel looks like it's moving faster, but I don't believe it is. I think I just don't actually watch it that often. Second one will go bing in a second. Is the wheel actually going slower? Normally a 27-second wheel, right? 26. That's fine. Alright. Here we go. Welcome to Pipeline. So, new mechanics means that these cars drive differently now. Apparently they're slower. I don't think I need to point out the fact that means that what was previously a 4.5 minute track might now be a 5.5 minute track. Who knows? We're going to find out. It's going to be an interesting little journey. I meant to do that. Alright, so to start off with, I'm not keen on how this is driving, but we'll give it some time to adjust. It's just because I am trying to drive it like it was previously. So we will see how we go. And obviously this isn't the best baseline map in the first place. I am getting a lot of drag downhill. So we will try and deal with that. It is unbelievably slow. I am definitely noticing the speed difference, which I was told that the cars will be driving slower this update. So we'll go from there, I guess. Slower cars means easier drifting, I guess, guys. So let's not get too upset about it just yet. Jesus Christ, this thing's maxing out at 268. Not ideal, good sir. It's really quite slow now. Like, and I'm not sure if it's just baseline or if it's going to be every car, but I have been told every car has been slowed down. If this is how drastically every car's been slowed down, Well, that'll be exciting. It should be... Yeah, it's jumps. And I always seem to hit that one. Not always, but often. I've never dodged that one when it has popped up where I am. Always dodge that first one, no worries. Not the second. We're gonna actually keep a lot of Nitrox for the finale, because now that we have the counterbalance wins, we might actually struggle without it. Like the wins in that final pipeline do require drafting according to the movies and the accelerons and all that. So yeah, we're just gonna go with our under 300 km/h car. Jesus Christ, barely even made the door. Phasing should be near impossible now. Oh. Let's go this door. This is the safe door. The reason... Oh, that opened a lot quicker than usual. I wonder if I've hit a different trigger or something. But either way, if that is always that slow, I'll be happy. Yeah, that's bouncy. But, you know, this is Bassline for you. It's not really the greatest car in terms of pipeline. It's quite awful on pipeline most of the time, so I'm not too concerned. I'm a little concerned that some of the previous track times might be a little less, what's the word here, possible in future. So I guess we'll see. Poor Bassline is really just struggling just for this loop. It's speeding up, so we're on the downhill. 1 hour ultimate race is out the window. I'm gonna start with that, but we'll get into that later. We're here to talk about Bassline, not the ultimate race or the new update. Alright, Bassline is really not a fan of walls. Just not a fan of pipeline in general. But I am looking forward to taking this on Cliffside and Water, which are the other two test tracks that I'm using for these car reviews. Just purely because it does drive slower, so it's going to make it a little easier to hold a drift. Whether or not it becomes a problem, we'll find out. Like, oh man, that made that corner so much easier. We're going to gain some speed coming up here, because we do have this final corner. And then we're going to try and get through these stupid wind things. Which I feel like you can't get through these without Nitrox now. But let's not find out right now. Let's just finish the track. It's taking me 6 minutes to do this track now. That's a good 30 seconds slower than it was last time. More than. Possibly even a minute. That's, yeah, so that's Bassline on pipeline. It wasn't ideal, but let's put it in a track it's a little more at home with. One with corners that actually matter, not walls to drive on. Perfect. Alright, I'm glad this still works. Bassline, get on your wheels, get on your wheels. No! Hey! I'm quite happy with that one. Oh god, this gap is normally a bit of a nightmare to cross. Crossing it now, I can only imagine it's worse. Alright. Woo! Cars are still a bit light. I feel like hitting a curb at 170 wouldn't go well, but I don't think it would do that. As I expected, it is a little easier to get into and hold a drift. But the whole game is just different now. I'm glad that I am redoing these videos. Ooh, it's a little harder to, it's a little easier to save yourself when you make mistakes though. So that is nice, but it is going to drastically change the speed of tracks. So far, nothing too serious going on here. The track is a little easier, in my opinion, but it is drastically slower. Like, I'm trying to drift pretty hard there, but I'm just going so much slower now that drifting on these corners is almost irrelevant. Like, just almost impossible. There's not really much point to it. Other than to be like, hey, I can drift. But yeah, that's that there. There's not really much more I can do. About 240 to hit the hyperpod. We'll move on to the next track. Let's go Cliffside. This is going to be the real test as to how the changes have affected Bassline. I'm actually expecting this to go well. Other than the loop, I feel like I might actually struggle on the loop without Nitrox. We will see how we go. I don't want to do a reset on this track because that triggers the game freezing issue, which is caused by skid marks, but it seems to be directly affected by resets. So we'll see how we go. Now, this drop is still going to be a bit of a prick, so we will just... Oh, that's much easier to not screw up and bounce off the track now. See how we go with this loop. I really can't wait for the big loop from the first leg of the world race. That's going to be so much fun. That was, yeah. Why was I in reverse? I didn't... Ah, this game sometimes, I swear. That's beautiful. Also beautiful. Yeah, so this is a much better car for this track now, in my opinion. Just don't hit them curbs, because they will ruin you, because your car is so light. However, I have gotten away with it each time I have hit them. It's running a lot better now. Yeah, this is good. I am a fan of this for this track. It also seems like it's a little easier to save yourself when you do make mistakes and come off. Just because you're going at a much slower speed, so you've got a bit more time to react. Whoo! That was entirely my fault. Alright, let's try not to drive off the edge because this thing's a little touchy. But let's try and continue. Jesus Christ. This is the one thing I'm not enjoying about this, is this car is so light it'll roll at the slightest bit of effort. Still overturned a little there, but that was because I was getting a bit careless with it. I was just going nuts. And that was understeer, and that was entirely my fault too. We're off the map. Bassline, look, it's a pretty car. It's really nice on the corners. It does take a little bit of adjusting to try and get the feel for it, but once you're not on these corners, it feels super slow. This could be an issue with like every car. It only averages about a 260 max speed. It's nothing significant, but you know, there's obviously hills involved in that 260, so it's about a 260, 270 max speed. Nothing too hectic. The car is constantly in control until it hits a curb. It takes so little to flip this thing over, and that's what I really don't like about it. It's so easy to roll it, and when it rolls, it keeps rolling because it is so light, and I don't know where the weight comes from. It's not top heavy per se, but it has no weight to the bottom of it, so nothing makes it stick to the ground, which causes it to just get airborne at the slightest thing and stay rolling once it starts rolling. It doesn't like to stop at the wheels. That's what I don't like about it. Obviously I haven't tested anything else in this update yet, so we don't know how good it is compared to those, but we'll get this online right now, no editing or anything, just throw it up there, and we have a revised Bassline review because this update has changed things, and then we'll move on to other cars and hopefully have some of them for tomorrow.